Why do we say yes? Why do we click add to cart or hit buy now and hand over our credit card details when we barely even planned to? It's not random, it's not always logical, it's psychological. And a handful of core persuasion principles are driving decisions every day. These have been studied, tested, and proven, especially by the psychologist Robert Cialdini in his book, Influence: The Science of Persuasion. So let's break down the most powerful psychological principles that drive consumer behavior and some real world examples. The first one is reciprocity. You gave me something, so I feel obliged to give something back. This one's ancient, it's hardwired in our brains. Humans are social creatures, and we are hardwired to return favors. That's why free trials, free samples, and valuable content often work. A good example is Dropbox, who exploded by offering free storage if you invite your friends. Brands like Glossier give you a free gift with your first order, and suddenly you're thinking, now I owe them a little loyalty. The tactic is to give something valuable first. Content, advice, anything. And that opens the door to deeper engagement. To sum up reciprocity, it does not need to be expensive, just genuine. The next one is social proof. If they trust it, maybe I should too. Believe it or not, or whether or not you like it, we are all social creatures, we're all herd animals. And it stems back to ancient times when people who deviated from the group or were segmented from the group were often at risk of dying. So we all have that survival instinct, and therefore we congregate as a herd. That's why social proof these days is so powerful with branding. Things like reviews, video testimonials, UGC, like user-generated content, and badges like as seen on, blah, 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 channel, as seen on TV. These work so well. When Airbnb first launched, they embedded reviews into every listing, building immense trust. Fashion Nova and Gymshark, both of those brands grew immensely through social proof, from everyday influencers and real customer photos. Social proof is no longer optional, it's currency. You need to show that your customers love you. Do this in 3 ways. Do it often, do it loudly, and do it authentically. Next is scarcity. If I don't do this now, I'll miss out. FOMO is real, and the brands that capitalize on this tap into a deep primal instinct. Here's an example, the brand Supreme. They built an empire using extremely limited drops. People line up, they resell, they obsess over this. Amazon's only 2 left in stock, and Airbnb using things like, this property was booked 7 times in the past 24 hours. Those really make a difference. The key here is to use real scarcity, limited stock, timed offers, or one-time bonuses. And here is the warning. Fake scarcity kills trust completely. If you have a final sale that never ends, people eventually catch on and lose trust completely. The next principle is authority. They know what they are talking about. We trust doctors who wear lab coats. We trust people who have credentials, and we listen to experts in their field. In marketing, perceived authority turns hesitation into action. An example is Apple leaning heavily on expert endorsements and keynote presentations led by top engineers and executives. Fitness brands collaborate with pro athletes, while skincare brands collaborate with dermatologists. Take the brand CeraVe, for instance. They blew up. They did really, really well and built so much trust when they actually started partnering with influencers who were dermatologists. Now they can put all over their packaging, dermatologically tested. The key here is to feature your expertise, show credentials, and borrow authority from influencers, business partners, and media coverage. So the more credible you seem, the more credible you are perceived, the more and the quicker people will trust you. Then we have the principle of liking. People say, I buy from people I like. The more people feel that they like you and connect with you, the more chance you will have of converting them. For instance, Duolingo, the language company, they built on their TikTok a funny, relatable, likable personality around an owl, and they have over 10 million followers now. Many clothing brands show behind the scenes of their team, their founders, their mission, so that people get connected to the people, not just the products. When your brand is relatable, that's what is magnetic. Now, the last principle we'll cover here is commitment. When people have already said yes once, when they have said yes to a smaller thing, they're more likely to say yes to a larger thing later on. That's why opt-ins, free trials, and starter packs are so powerful. Netflix, for instance, they make it easy to have a free trial. Once you're in, cancelling seems like a burden. The brand Everlane, they ask their customers to choose their price. This builds a micro commitment and increases follow-through. Start small, let the customer feel like they're in control, and then deepen the relationship as you go. These principles aren't manipulative at all. They're just tools. And just like a hammer, they can build a house or destroy one. It's how you use them. When applied ethically, these influence principles help the right people find the right solutions with trust and clarity. So now you understand what's happening beneath the surface. The real question is, how will you use these principles?